It's a Wednesday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu, register for classes. You could become a Bruin this fall. It's not too late to register for classes. Head over to bellevue.edu, register tonight. It is also a Wing Wednesday. It's not too late to head over to our Twitter page at After Hours 1620 or find us on Facebook at After Hours 1620. Retweet or share the GIF of our wings tonight. We're going to enter you into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Cunningham's Pub and Grill. We are also going to talk to Justin Walters from the ACC Network to discuss the new look ACC and get his thoughts on the new members of the conference and the outlook for football this year. The AP Top 25 has been out for a couple days. We've had a couple days to digest it, so we're going to break it down at 6:30. We buy or sell at 7 o'clock on several topics around Dan Campen and Henry Ludwig's head tonight.
You have no idea.
It's going to be scary. And then at 7:15, which member of the All-American team does not deserve to be there?
Ooh.
We're going to tell you. And then speaking of high-level football, the Bennington Badgers are coming off their third consecutive state championship in Class B. Cam Lenhart, no, not that one, will be here with his Badgers tonight at 7:30. You can get a hold of the show, 402-951-1620, where either one of our crack producers would be happy to take your phone call. Or as aforementioned, you can get a hold of us at After Hours 1620 on Twitter as well. We kind of looked at a glass half full, half empty scenario earlier in the week when we were talking about Nebraska football, and then Dan Campen inspired me last night.
He did.
He's
an inspiring cat.
To believe. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. And why should we
Black cherry.
Why should we look at this season as a glass half full or even all the way full situation?
Mm-hmm.
More a cup runneth over situation if you're Dan Campen.
Dan, really quickly, could you provide me with the StreamYard link so I can send it to Justin for the next segment, because he's going to join us over the stream?
All right, will do.
When we talk about why this could be the season, why after 8 years we could be talking, why people should start.
You're going full Cubs fan. This is the year.
Booking their travel to the Vegas Bowl right now. When we talk about that and how some people say you could paint a picture of 10-2, what has to happen?
Some people. What do you mean, some people?
What has to happen this season for those things to come to fruition in your mind?
For Nebraska to go 10-2?
To be bowl eligible. We won't go all the way full. We'll go 70% full.
Well, to go 10-2, Dylan Raiola's got to be the second best quarterback in the league.
Okay. Behind
Dylan Gabriel.
Okay. So you're sold that he's going to be able to go from Oklahoma to Eugene, plug and play, and automatically be the best quarterback in the league.
I did this today when I was hosting Happer.
Sure.
Because On3 came out with their rankings of the Big Ten presumed starting quarterbacks.
Yep.
And I looked through the list and I was like, man, Dylan Gabriel at 1. And then I looked at Dylan Gabriel's numbers.
Okay. But. Those are numbers in the Big 12. This is the Big 10. This is a team coming into a new conference for the first time.
Mm-hmm. And who else? Who's going to be better than him?
I hear you, and I think there's a lot of. I think there are a couple other options, and we still don't know what the situation in Ohio State is going to be. And I'm not saying that Will Howard is better than Dylan Gabriel, because I don't think he is. But I think the weapons that Ohio State is going to have is automatically going to put whoever's in that equation. Because if it ends up being Julian Sayin or whoever, I think you can have that conversation based on the weapons around it. But
if Nebraska's going 10-2, Dylan Gabriel's got to be.
Okay, sorry,
Dylan Raiola has got to be the second best quarterback in the conference.
We got off on a random tangent there,
yeah,
but I'm just not necessarily all in on the fact that Dylan Gabriel is going to be able to put up the same type of numbers that he did at Oklahoma at Oregon. I'm just not.
I mean, it's the same kind of roster around him.
I agree, but the defenses that they're going to play are much better, in my opinion, and there's going to be an adjustment period of, listen, I think Oregon is going to be as ready-made to walk into the Big Ten and be able to conduct their normal business as anybody we've ever seen make a conference jump. With that being said, there are still going to be some hurdles.
I'm not disagreeing. I just don't see another quarterback that is going to be better than Dylan Gabriel in the conference. It's not a deep quarterback group.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys being replaced in first years too.
There's a lot of guys being replaced. There's a lot of unproven commodities. There's some retreads who we don't know how they are going to stack up.
Yeah.
I mean, Will Rogers at Washington coming from the air raid Mississippi State offense. Will Howard going from Kansas State to Ohio State. I mean, Drew Aller is second on the list of Big Ten quarterbacks.
And Tyler Van Dyke just got listed the starter today at Wisconsin.
And all Miami did was try to find a replacement for him for for 4 years, and they just couldn't. Like, it's there's not a lot there. There's not a lot to go on. So if you're asking me, how does Nebraska end up with like the best possible scenario?
The most intriguing.
Aiden Childs,
yeah.
Again, another guy that we don't really know anything about. He saw limited action as the backup to DJ Uiagalelei at Oregon State.
He got in some sparing minutes where he looked the part, though.
He threw 35 passes a season ago.
He looked pretty athletic, too.
Sure. So how does Jonathan Smith's offense translate to the Big Ten?
Yep, that's another question.
We don't know.
How does Kurt Cignetti's offense translate to the Big Ten? There's so many question marks. Yeah.
Minnesota's got a guy who's a 6th-year senior transfer from New Hampshire. And
PJ
Rutgers
Fleck is getting fired.
Rutgers has Minnesota's old quarterback, Athan Kaliakmanis.
And who the hell thought that was a good idea? Greg Schiano, what are you doing, man? I cannot believe that dude is still a Power 4 quarterback. Man, Cade McNamara's not even going to start either.
Doesn't sound like it.
Hudson Card is listed as the 11th best quarterback on this list. Is that?
But what does Hudson Card do to inspire you?
I know, but I mean, he's got to be better than guys that haven't even started in football, right? I don't know. Dylan Raiola is listed as the 6th best quarterback in the Big Ten, and he's never played it down.
Absolutely,
football. That's incredible. Like, it might just be Dylan Gabriel by default. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's Dylan Gabriel and then a huge drop off.
Are we not giving Will Howard enough credit?
I think we're giving Will Howard too much credit.
Man, I still don't even know if he's going to be the guy. Listen, I still think Aaron Nolan could end up being your starter, but it might end up being Julian Sain. I don't know. I don't know.
Back to the topic at hand.
Yes, we got way off on there. We're just guys naming guys right now.
That's one. Like, Dylan Raiola has to be the dude.
Yep.
He's got to have one of the best freshman quarterback seasons in the history of Nebraska football.
Arguably the best. I mean, it'd be kind of hard to top what Tommy Frazier did, but
he wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the year.
We're talking about 10-2, though. I think you're right. I think we're talking about Dylan Raiola going north of 2,500 yards, north of 22 touchdowns through the year. And my caveat to that would be you have to have a complementary run game, and that has been the one thing that has been missing for the better part of a decade.
This was point 2.
Yeah,
one of those running backs has to get over 750 yards on the ground.
Okay,
and it's got to look good doing it. It can't be just like, oh, I ran for 200 yards against UTEP.
Yeah, you need somebody to go over 30 yards on a carry at least one time this season.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds ridiculous to say it.
Josh Peterson said it on Unsportsmanlike Conduct in the crossover
it's been,
today.
What, 8 years, right, since they've had somebody?
No, so if you take a look at the careers of Ramir Johnson and Gabe Ervin.
Well, I think Devine Ozigbo was the last Nebraska running back to go for a run over 30 yards.
So between Ramir Johnson and Gabe Ervin, who have a combined 8 years of experience at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, they have one run of 30 yards or more.
That had to be Ramir, I'm assuming, right?
In garbage time, yeah.
Colorado?
I don't remember which game it was.
Because he had that big run at the end. That is such a staggering stat. And, like, when everybody has said, yeah, but what has Emmett Johnson done? What has Emmett Johnson done? Like,
what has any of them done?
That's a much bigger question mark than I think most people are alluding to.
And I think,
and when you look at the way this offense performed last year, and to say, hey, we're going to have a complete flip where the passing game is going to be the focal point of what drives this offense, you don't really have much of a choice. If we're being honest.
Yeah. And the third point I'll make for Nebraska to really maximize this season, and I know it's a big ask, but you're asking me to make a case for 10-2. The Nebraska defense has to be better than it was a year ago, especially on third down.
I'll double down on that. They got to be better at taking the football away.
Yeah.
And as good as they were very pedestrian in causing turnovers a year ago.
And gave up some key third down conversions late in games.
And I'll even put a fourth thing out there. They have to put themselves in situation to score touchdowns and not rely on field goals because there are so many question marks at that place kicking position right now, even if Tristan Alvano is healthy, that they're going to have to if you're Matt Rule, you got to have a real honest conversation with yourself about your third and short and fourth and short scenarios this season. About everything we just labeled. Okay, do we really feel like Dylan Raiola is a guy that can get us short yard situations through the air? Do we have the horses around him to be able to pull that off? Do I trust my kicking situation within 35 yards because it doesn't feel like you have any real
Yep.
reason to do so? And B, is our defense good? Or C, excuse me, is our defense good enough that if we give them a home field here, like if we're talking 4th and 1 from the opponent's 32, do you feel good enough about converting that? And if you don't, that your defense can play with a 65-yard field? You probably do.
Yep.
And I really think it may be in Matt Rule's best interest to gamble a little more this season, especially in situations where the field.
If you're in plus territory, you should be going for it on 4th down.
And it really, and I know how pedestrian the offense was a year ago, but it really surprised me that they didn't go for it more when they should have. We're going to catch up with the ACC Network's Justin Walters on the other side of the break. If you missed the opening segment tonight, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620 or wherever you may get your podcast at. It was brought to you by Amber Best with Berkshire Hathaway. If you are looking for your forever home today, Amber Best has a quaint townhome out in Fremont that is over the lakes. Fremont Lakes is a beautiful place. If you haven't been out there, had a chance to check it out, check out amberbest.com. That's BESS.com tonight. And look at the townhome. Check it out. Maybe it's for you. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Check it out at amberbest.com tonight. We'll be right back talking the new look ACC on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John Schreiner here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. You know what? Today, had the opportunity to stop into Jerry Ryan. Dan called Jimmy, said, hey, stop by the store, got something for you. Jimmy and I went in there, and they gave us these beautiful new Johnny O quarter zips that we are wearing on the show tonight. And guess what they have on them? The little embroidered Nebraska N. Yeah, that's right. We've been telling you they have all the Creighton gear. Well, guess what? They have the Nebraska gear now, just in time for football season. If you want to look like the best version of yourself when you head down to Lincoln and you check into the stadium, you sit down in your seat and you want someone to go, hey, where'd you get that quarter zip? And you can tell them, I went to 78th and Dodge and I went to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, and they hooked me up because these things, let me tell you, they feel amazing. The feel of this, the material is so great. They are so easy to care for. You just toss it in the wash. It's not going to shrink. It's not going to come out of shape or anything like that, like your other fancy sweaters might. This thing is easy and it looks great. They have a bunch of different embroidered Nebraska shirts from Johnny O. They got polos, they got pullovers, they got vests, they got quarter zips. Whatever you like, whatever you want, whatever you need to get to 78th and Dodge and check out the great gear that they have in stock right now, ready for you today. And if you need a suit, let Dan and John hook you up with the best fitting experience in the Midwest. It's Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, 78th and Dodge. They've been dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza.
Okay. I'm just now getting my computer started. So
Breezy and warm this evening with the temperatures in the lower 80s. Showers and thunderstorms.
The dream of playing the sport you love may be closer than you think. The Bellevue University Athletic Department proudly sports the best scholarship funding among NAIA programs in the state. To compete with the best, we need to recruit the best. All incoming freshmen earn a $5,000 scholarship when they enroll at Bellevue University. Learn more by looking us up at BUBruins.com and reach out to your future coach today.
Hi, I'm Amber Bess. If you're searching for a real estate advisor who is a skilled problem solver, Amber Bess of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate stands out. If you're a first-time home buyer, navigating through life's changes, or you just want to upgrade your home, my expertise and dedication will get you the best deal possible. With me, expect nothing short of personalized attention and seamless transactions. Why settle for the rest when you can have the best? Visit amberbest.com. That's Amber, BESS.com, and buy with the best today.
.619 on a Wednesday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu. Register for classes and become a Bruin tonight. There's a new look to the ACC, and Justin Walters from the ACC Network joins us here on After Hours. Justin, thanks for your time, man. Thanks for being here tonight.
No doubt. Appreciate y'all inviting me, man.
Oh, we don't have him. We don't have any audio. Justin, try one more time.
You got me now?
There we go. We're fixed. We're running. Thank you for your flexibility. Sorry for getting you late. We were trying to figure out who the best quarterback in the Big Ten was, and then we got off on a tangent. So I'm sure you know how that goes. We're just dudes naming dudes for about 20 minutes.
It's like that, especially during now, man. We're just ready for the season to kick off.
I was just telling the guys before the show started, I cannot wait to lose my first parlay of the year. Hey, you guys have a lot of figuring out to do down there in ACC land too, with the West Coast schools being added to the equation, as well as SMU. What was your initial reaction to those schools joining the conference?
I mean, everyone has been adding a lot of teams. I thought it was a strong move for the ACC. Some people was like, oh, is it really the best move just because it's Stanford and Cal? But if you look at through the full scope of things and how Stanford is really good through all sports, and football may not be necessarily their strength. I was really excited to see if Tara Vanderveer was going to be able to join the conference, but obviously she retired, and now Katie's the head coach. But overall, I thought it was a good move for the ACC.
There's a lot of buzz around the ACC in football this year. Florida State getting a ton of love, especially with the transfer of DJ Uiagalelei to be the starting quarterback. Is it Florida State's time now to take over at the top of this conference?
Man, that's a big question that still hasn't been answered right now, because you look at all the firepower that Florida State lost last year. Benson in the backfield, Keon Coleman, who everyone loves on social media right now. Johnny Wilson went over to the Eagles, and then they lost some firepower also on the defensive side. I think the defense is still going to be legit with Peyton. The question is, who are the dudes that DJU is going to be able to throw to? I got a chance to check him out at Oregon State last year, and I think that Jonathan Smith had all the right pieces around him. Damian Martinez in the backfield, who's now at the U. That line just gave him nothing but protection. But I do trust Mike Norvell. I think that first game, which we're now just a few days away from, a week away at that, against Georgia Tech, is going to be exciting. You could say that the Yellow Jackets honestly have more answers, especially with Haynes King, than Florida State. But Florida State is top 10. A lot of excitement. Norvell is a pretty sure thing.
When we talk about the trendy picks on social media, I mean, everybody seems to really love SMU and what they did a year ago coming into this conference. Are you willing to say that they're going to be able to step in and make an impact on the ACC in year one?
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Preston Stone. Got a chance to speak with him out in Charlotte. He's a dog. Kevin Jennings came in at the back end, and you look at their schedule, 11-3. Those 3 losses came against FCS schools, 1 in the bowl game against Boston College, and then the other 2 against TCU and Oklahoma. This is a different team. Rhett Lashley got a lot of transfers from Miami. He spoke to a lot of coaches that made the adjustment, like Gus Malzahn, to the FCS. And I do think that they had a lot of transfers also specifically in the trenches that they're going to be able to make some noise. Like, am I saying top 4 in the ACC? I wouldn't go that far, but they were projected to be 7th, I believe. So right in the middle of the pack, but they're going to be a scary team, and they're going to be hosting Florida State. I think there's a lot of excitement with SMU now coming over and having some great weapons on both sides. I do think they're going to be able to shake some things up.
All right, let's talk the U, Miami. If you listen to the preseason chatter before the polls came out, I think you would have gathered that a lot of people were thinking Miami was a dark horse college football playoff type team. Perhaps they could make a run, might be like one of those sleepy semifinalist types. Then the polls come out and they check in at 19th in both, which would be outside of making it to the college football playoff. What do we make of the Miami Hurricanes?
I'm high on Miami. I can't even lie.
How much that is because Cam Ward?
A lot of it, but also Damian Martinez.
Good point.
I understand that this is a narcotic that you want to tread lightly on, because Miami has burned people for the past few decades, and it's every single year we ask the same question: is this the year the U is back? But they finally have a guy under center. Cam Ward carries himself with a quiet confidence, and maybe he disguised it a little bit because he was going to be meeting with the media at the ACC kickoff. But I really enjoyed the takeaway from his conversation, and I think he understands it's bigger than just winning at Miami. If he balls out this season, he easily could be a first-round pick without a doubt with this quarterback class that's coming in. Now, there's still a lot that needs to be figured out, but the offensive line was one of the things that he was sold on. He said that the coaches just showed him how much protection that he would have, and they said, hey, here are the keys to the kingdom. This is what you'll be able to do. Bringing in Damian Martinez later on, and then having guys on the other side like Ruben Bain Jr. The question, I think, if there is one area of weakness, possibly, if you're going to even label it like that, I would have to say it's the secondary. But if the dudes are able to get after the quarterback, then the secondary can be disguised. But I'm really high on Miami. Cam Ward, I think, is going to be able to hook up with Xavier Restrepo a lot. But I do believe that it'd be them and possibly Clemson or even at NC State or Florida State. Those are my top four, all battling for a spot in Charlotte.
How much of your hesitation to put all your chips in on Miami is because of Mario Cristobal and a couple of the lapse in judgment, specifically circling that Georgia Tech game a year ago?
Yeah, I know. That was a terrible decision. And I spoke to a few of the analysts, and I'm still understanding the conference. And I remember watching that game and having our ACC crew out there, and I was like, I can't believe this actually happened. But I do think that you're going to be able to not repeat those mistakes because you're able to learn from it. No one's going to want to do that again.
Sure hope so. Yeah.
You would hope so, right? You would hope so. If you get burnt by putting your hand on a stove once, history would tell you don't do it again.
It seems like every year we have a team from off the board that comes up and finishes in the top 10 at the end of the season. And the team I kind of have targeted for that kind of a rise, the only one I can really point at is Virginia Tech because of the weapons that they possess and that quarterback spot. Now, Kyron Drones, that is an electric playmaker who I absolutely love in watching him play the game of football. Is this a year when Virginia Tech can kind of get back to being the Hokies that we remember from the early 2000s?
Yeah, we're doing our ACC football road kickoff, and we've been bouncing around to different schools, or road tour, I should say. And we just visited out there, and Eddie Royal was high on them, and I got a chance to catch up with Kyron Drones. I mean, when you have that much production returning, you would think that it's going to lead to W's. They have a favorable schedule. Kyron Drones comes in this year as a de facto starter. You hear things from Pride that he's now taking a step up in his game, looking at the second and third reads. You're going to have a guy like Ollie Jennings, who was electric just in the first game but got hurt in the second game, came over from Old Dominion so they could have that deep threat, get explosive plays. They still have two in there in the backfield. The defense has some dudes like APR, Antoine Powell-Ryland. I think that you have to really it's just very crowded in the ACC. They're going to have to take care of those games. And one of those games I've circled off on the calendar is a Friday night game next month taking on Miami. That's going to be huge. Both of those kids are also cousins, by the way, Cam Ward and Kyron Drones. They said they're not going to be texting each other leading up to the game, but they also practice with the same coach in the offseason, which includes Shedeur Sanders. So these guys know what's at stake, and they're excited to not just win an ACC championship, but the first year of the college football playoff now being at 12 teams, you're going to see a lot of decisions changed up because, the pot is thickened. If you could get to 10 wins, that really would be good. And what I'm really interested to see in some of these conference championship games is, does the third place team have a leg up on the second place team that may lose lopsided in the championship game, but the third place team was this close to getting in, but they don't get in now. but the eye test to the committee, they just saw that second place team like, ugh, that wasn't really a good showing. So yeah, it's a lot
Especially
of
if they
stuff to
haven't
shake
played
out, but
each other in
exciting.
the regular season.
Truly. But there's just
good.
I was just saying there's some really good non-conference games that will allow some of the ACC teams to improve or strengthen their schedule, whether it be Clemson kicking off the season against Georgia, week 2, NC State taking on Tennessee, and some games later down the road. Oh, and of course, the biggest one for me, one game I have circled off immediately is Florida versus Miami.
Yep.
You got to win that game if you're Miami. Have to.
We're catching up with Justin Walters from the ACC Network here on the After Hours Lounge. Justin, the one kind of dark cloud as the storms start to roll in here in Omaha, Nebraska. The one dark cloud kind of over the entire conference is the possibility of Florida State and Clemson bolting if this lawsuit kind of falls through. How much concern is there around that, around the ACC right now?
It's been business as usual. I think Commissioner Phillips had a very stern message to say that, hey, they're part of the puzzle, and we hope that they'll be able to remain here. But for now, he's not treating them differently. And it was probably the most aggressive message I've seen from Commissioner Phillips in the past. I think that when you have some of the other commissioners in other conferences, like Brett Yormark, throwing out there like, hey, we're one of the conferences that you need to come to. But if you just look at wholesale off the numbers, the ACC is in third place and has exponentially improved their revenue in addition to what they've been able to do from a marketing standpoint. Yes, there's a big gap between the Big 12 the Big 10 in addition to the SEC, but still there's a place for the ACC to thrive. But the thing, though, is that you have to get back to those days of Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, as well as Trevor Lawrence, where football teams in the conference were thriving. But I'm not mad at Florida State or Clemson, but in terms of the everyday things that we're having to go through, there's no issue at all.
Let's talk about Clemson for a minute. 9-4 a year ago. Dabo's been outspoken about not being super excited about the way rosters are managed now, about the way the game is played, about NIL. Doesn't seem to be down with the new wave of college football. What's Clemson going to be this year?
He isn't, but there's something that needs to be said about a man that sticks to his principles and he still has a solid team.
Good point.
They didn't get double-digit wins for the first time in a decade, but look at the schedule. They barely lost to Florida State. 3 games, 1 possession losses. Barely lost to NC State. Also another overtime loss. Cade Klubnik, he was very raw, but another year under Garrett Riley. They lost Shipley. Phil Maffa is going to be a dog back there. They have some more health on the outside. Tyler Brown or even any of the other transfers, as well as some newcomers, or not transfers, I say some of the newcomers like Bryant Wesco are expected to be able to produce. The defense is going to be stout. I'm high on Clemson. I had them in Miami. Those were my 2 picks. You have to pick somebody to go into the ACC championship, but I had those 2 finishing out top of the division. It's going to be close because I'm high on some other squads. But Clemson, I think, is really going to be well this year. That's a tough game off the bat against Georgia. But overall, I think Klubnik takes a huge step forward.
You obviously have your finger on the pulse of everything going on in the ACC, but we're here in Big Ten conference country. Do you have any takes on the Big Ten or any teams you're excited to see on a Saturday in Big Ten land?
One game I'm actually looking forward to is because I'm actually heading out to Boston College. I just realized Michigan State is on the schedule, and they're going to be playing against Boston College. It's just interesting to see the whole landscape and how everything's changing now with the teams, but no hot takes really with the Big Ten.
Sure.
I looked at the top 25 rankings as well as the top 10 specifically, and I saw how much Big Ten as well as SEC love was in there, Florida State being the only ACC team. But at this point, guys, I'm just ready to rip off the training wheels. Like, let's play some games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Justin, we appreciate your time tonight, man. Thank you for being flexible. Sorry for getting late to you, but we do appreciate your time. Omaha, Nebraska, the most random place you've been asked to do radio?
Nah, I can't say it has been. And I've been to Omaha for the College Baseball World Series. I was there.
Okay,
great.
Well, hopefully you had a great time, and hopefully you enjoyed your time on the show tonight because we appreciated having you. We'd love to catch up with you once the season gets underway.
Sounds like a plan, man. Just hit me up.
That's Justin Walters of the ACC Network joining us here on the After Hours Lounge. You can follow all of his work at Justin Walters TV. Thanks for being here tonight, man. We'll talk to you in a few months.
All right, great.
If you missed Justin's segment tonight, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620 or wherever you may find your podcast at. It was brought to you by 402 Barbecue. You can stop by 402 Barbecue on 84th and String Monday through Saturday from 11 to 6. Try mine and John's personal favorite. It's the Cadillac sandwich. It's brisket. It's pork. It's topped off with the world-famous smoked mac and cheese. Make sure you mention to Kelly and the team. You heard about them on After Hours. She's going to throw in a soda with a purchase and the mention of our show. It's 402 Barbecue. Stop by 84th and Spring and grab lunch tomorrow. We'll be right back breaking down that top 25 that Justin just talked to you about here on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Bob Williams with Williams Law. Summertime is coming to an end, and if you got yourself into a little bit of trouble this summer and you're not really sure what your legal rights are, head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight. Work with Bob and his team. They're going to give you a free, no-obligation legal consultation today to make sure that you're the right fit for them, make sure they're the right fit to defend you as well. Civil or criminal, they can help you with either. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com and get that no-obligation free legal consultation today. Public service announcement.
That's a PSA.
For no reason whatsoever. I just love John Cook. Man of my own heart. It's the After Hours Lounge. We're brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the perfect ideal college experience this fall, head over to bellevue.edu and register for classes. We are the show of the people. Go ahead.
Well, hold on. I just want to say one more thing because there's a great clip from this upcoming ESPN Plus Husker documentary where they're talking about, we got the cool different uniform tops this season for the volleyball team. We should wear them with red shorts. And 70% of the team was like, red shorts? Who do you think we are?
Black shorts. Black Panther, we don't do that meme here. Insertion right there.
Yeah.
I think we're the people's show. We'll always take your phone call, 402-951-1620. We'll go to the phones. Caller, are you still there? Nope. All right. Well, listen, he said that Michigan was getting disrespected, and we didn't get his name. So if you're still listening, want to weigh in on Michigan getting disrespected, give Dan a call back, 402-951-1620, because we're talking about the AP Top 25 here. And obviously, and I think for the majority of this season, you're going to see the top two kind of flip-flopping back and forth between Georgia and Ohio State.
Unless Oregon beats Ohio State.
And that's what I was just about to say until that Week 6 matchup when the Buckeyes have to head out to Eugene. That is when that position is probably firmly going to be defined in this season. But I have a lot of question marks about the team that on this list comes in at number 4, specifically after the news comes out today. Texas has lost their top 2 expected running backs, with C.J. Baxter going down last week with an ACL tear, and today Christian Clark, a true freshman, who they expected to at least be a contributor, if not the number 2 back on this team when the camp started, goes out with a ruptured Achilles as well. Listen, Quinn Ewers is a guy that's going to be talked about in Heisman conversations, and they've got some weapons outside of the hash marks as well. I have a lot of question marks about Texas in the SEC if they can't run the football.
Yeah, and like I was sort of starting to, in my mind, trend toward Texas maybe winning the SEC this year. And this throws
I wouldn't have hated it.
This throws a wrench into the whole scenario. Like, man, those are 2 big losses. Those are 2 guys you were expecting to be frontline players that you don't have now. So, I mean, I'm with you. I have questions about Texas now too, but I still think the season comes down to the play of Quinn Ewers. Like, it's going to be, is Quinn Ewers good? Okay, Texas is going to be good.
Looking at the top 10, and it's Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, and Florida State, the one lone non-SEC, Big Ten, or Notre Dame school. But Notre Dame at 7 is interesting to me. And I don't know if I think they're a top 10 team. I really don't.
Okay.
And they were, listen, Marcus Freeman was outcoached by Jeff Brom in Louisville last year. And they got, it was only a 2-score game in Kentucky, but I think Louisville outclassed them in every stretch of the imagination. They got ran off the field by Clemson, in my opinion. You have to replace Sam Hartman this year. You're going to beat an overrated A&M team in Week 1, who's number 20 on this list, by the way. I don't know how that happens, but they were 6-7 a year ago, and then they fired their coach. But somehow they're a top 20 team. And people are going to think Notre Dame is a top 10 team based on that for a few weeks. And this schedule is very favorable this year.
Ooh, is it ever?
I still have them losing 3 games. By the way, they are at A&M, at Purdue in Week 4. And then they don't have to go on the road till the last game of the season, in which they have to go to USC. They're at home for every single game after Week 4.
The Army game's not at home, is it?
According to their schedule on ESPN.com, they are not on the road again.
I think that's at Army. I think they're going to Army. Or maybe it's a neutral site.
We'll confirm that here in a second, but it is not listed as an away game on ESPN. But with that being said, the majority of their tougher games with Florida State, with Louisville, all going to be in South Bend. Yeah, the Army game is listed as a home game. Anyway, regardless, that schedule is incredibly easy, but I still have them losing 3 games. I have them 4 games. I have them losing to Louisville, Florida State, Georgia Tech, and USC.
Army is not technically
they're playing it at
a home
Yankee
game.
Stadium.
They're playing it at Yankee Stadium.
Thank you. There we go. Okay, so they don't have
know
Thank
that,
you, Dan.
Yankee fan.
They don't have a true away game after Week 4 and before the end of the season.
Yeah,
it's a neutral site game, but
the schedule is relatively easy. I mean, I think I don't know. I don't know how much you believe in USC.
I believe in USC more than I believe in Notre Dame this season, and I don't believe in USC a whole lot.
But Northern Illinois, Miami, Ohio, how do you think Louisville's going to be?
I think a lot of the reason that I think Louisville is going to be even more improved than they were a year ago. I got a lot of faith in Jeff Brom, but I think a lot of the reason that you see Notre Dame on this list at 7 is because they blew out Oregon State in a depleted team in a bowl game a year ago, and that's really where this false narrative comes from. But yes, they won not 10 games a year ago, but I don't think they win more than 8 this season. Like I said, I have them losing to USC, Georgia Tech, Florida State, and Louisville.
So is Notre Dame your top 10 team that is most likely to fall out of the rankings?
Absolutely.
I think it's Michigan. I think Michigan's the most likely team that's going to fall out. There's so many. I know the defense is going to be good. And I know you've got your running back.
It's a team that won a national championship a year ago, though.
Yeah.
But they do open with Texas, so I mean that's probably gonna be your deterrent to fall out of the top 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be our dipstick for the
Yeah.
year. If they beat Texas, Michigan will probably be one of the top 5 teams in college football all year. And if they lose to Texas, they're just gonna fall down like a leaf off a tree in the middle of the fall.
They lose to Texas, and then they lose one more game in conference just by happenstance because it's a first-year head coach and a lot of changes, breaking in a new quarterback and all those things. But if they're sitting at 9-2, heading into that Ohio State game, you're probably still feeling pretty damn good about your chances to get a chance at another national championship if you're Michigan.
Yeah, and they play Oregon at home.
Right. So you have a marquee win.
Yeah.
If they could,
They would have 2 if they beat Texas and Oregon.
No, I'm saying if you lose to Texas and then you lose, and if that's, well, let's say you beat Oregon, but you lose one other random game in the Big Ten because it's the Big Ten.
At Washington, at Illinois, home against Michigan State, at Indiana.
I have all 4 of those as wins.
Yeah. Their conference schedule is at home against USC.
Okay, so if your losses are to Texas and Oregon and you're heading into the game against Ohio State, you feel really
They're
good.
10th. They're 10th in the
feel
country.
really good
Yeah.
about your chances of making the college football playoff.
Yep.
If not, probably winning the Big Ten.
Sure. I don't disagree, but I think they lose to Texas. I think they lose to USC. I think they lose to Oregon, and I think they lose to Ohio State. I think there's at least 4 losses on this schedule for Michigan.
There are 4 Big 12 schools on this list. Utah at 12, Oklahoma State at 17, Kansas State at 18, and then Kansas. At 5, Arizona. I forgot is a Big.
They're
12
a Big
school.
12 school now.
Are you surprised that there's this much love for the Big 12 in the preseason top 25?
No, because they're mostly near the bottom of the top 25.
Sure.
And I think even the voters haven't quite figured out what the Big 12 is going to be. So there's like, stick them somewhere.
I think it's going to be a ton of fun, man. I really do. I
Stick
think
them
the Big 12 's
somewhere
gonna be a
18 to
blast this year.
25. We'll throw them down there and see what happens. Utah at 12. You know how I feel about Utah. I think Utah's going to end the season as a top 5 team. I think they are winners of the Big 12. They're going to get one of those top 4 seeds in the college football playoff, and they may even win a game and be a semifinalist in the college football playoff, which would put them as a top 5 team in the final poll. That's what I think. Look, Oklahoma State's got Ollie Gordon, and Ollie Gordon is a man.
Yeah, he's really good, and they're very happy to have him back in Stillwater despite him making some bad decisions this offseason.
And then, don't throw away Iowa State. Like, they have some returning production.
6th most returning production
Yep.
in the nation on offense, by the way. Yep.
So, and like Matt Campbell, like when Iowa State is that team, it's like when everyone says, "Oh, this is the year Iowa State's going to be good," they're not very good.
Yeah,
And the
that's
year
a
when
good
everyone's
point.
like, "Iowa
They're
State,"
the Northwestern of the Big
Iowa
12.
State might not be that good. Iowa State's like, then they're decent, right? Like they just do the opposite of the prognostication.
As of right now, Penn State is ranked 8th. They only play 2 top 25 teams this season. They don't face Michigan. They get Ohio State at home. The other top 25 matchup is a trip to the Coliseum to play USC. If James Franklin doesn't make the playoffs this year, he's fired, right?
No,
Really?
not
You don't.
fired.
You play 2 top 25 teams.
Yeah,
One of them is at home.
I don't think he's fired.
And if you don't, because I mean, listen, if you go 10-2, you're in. If they don't go 10-2 against this schedule, where your non-conference, by the way, is Kent State, Bowling Green, and West Virginia. West Virginia is in Morgantown, so you could get me there. But I find it really hard to believe that you can ever look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is the guy that's going to get us over the hump and that can compete with Ohio State and Michigan.
You have to remember where he's coaching at, though, Jimmy. He's coaching at Penn State, a university that has always, to a fault, been very loyal to their people.
Well, their people have won national championships, so they've kind of had to have been. So it's not really necessarily like you could say, well, they stuck by Joe Paterno all those years. Yeah, but Joe Paterno was really good. It was beating Ohio State.
Yeah. You can say that. Those are words.
For Penn State to not go 10-2 with that schedule, I think they've got to suffer some injuries. Like Drew Aller has to be hurt, right?
That's the other thing is you're going in with a top 3 quarterback in the league, and most people
Number 2 if you listen to On 3. So if Drew Aller is the second best quarterback in the league this season, Penn State's going 10-2 and they're making the playoff.
Listen, Washington has to come to Happy Valley. Yes, you got to play at Camp Randall, but UCLA is coming to Happy Valley. You get that non-conference that I already mentioned. and the trip to USC is the only, other than I'm going to just pencil in the Ohio State game as a loss because I think that's the best team in the country. But if you find a way to fall like at Purdue or at Minnesota, I have no answers for you. I don't know how you keep James Franklin in that situation.
I don't know. I don't see it happening. I don't see him getting fired. Not now, not in the current state of things with coach buyouts being what they are and the revenue sharing model coming down. I think schools who over the past 15 to 20 years have been really quick to fire. Schools have been really quick to fire the guy and buy out his contract and move on. I think that starts to slow down because of the financial obligations that all these programs are going to have coming up. I think that you're going to see more coaches get a longer leash. And I think that starts now.
Do you know what the previous buyout for James Franklin was before he signed that deal? Because they just re-upped his deal. Want to guess what the previous buyout was? $2 million.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what it is now?
Probably
56.
50, yeah.
Yeah, $56 million. Yeah.
They're not going to fire him.
But can you feel comfortable with him being the guy if this isn't the year? Because listen, you have 8 more opportunities to make the playoffs now. And preseason polls don't mean anything until we start talking about contract negotiations. Yep. And you're being slated as one of the top 8 teams in the country.
Man, we say it all the time. What happens to programs who fire guys that just win 9 games a year? Like, what happens to those programs? It doesn't go well.
Yeah, and we have to look at, when you look at the firing of a head coach, it's a lot more than just wins and losses on the field. Because James Franklin...
How they lose is important.
Yeah. How they lose is important. But overall, James Franklin is a fairly winning coach.
He wins at a pretty high level.
And this is the 5th time they've been in the top 10 preseason last 8 years.
He's not in the loss column. He's significantly in the win column almost all the time.
Won 10 games of Vanderbilt.
And what is the most important thing that you're looking at with James Franklin is not wins and losses. It's how he treats people and how he treats his players. You have never heard anyone in that Penn State locker room say boo about James Franklin. They have never once been like, oh, he's a bad person. He's not a good coach to be under. He's not a good guy to work with. Everybody who goes through that Penn State program talks about how James Franklin is a perfectly adequate, nice gentleman.
88-39 is his record at Penn State.
88-39. You don't fire a coach who's 88-39. You don't fire a 9-win coach. Frank Solich.
Bo Pelini.
So but here's the thing, is if they're not a playoff team, they've won 9 games or less.
They've been 10-3 and 11-2 in the last 2 seasons.
If we're talking about a team that 5 years in the last 8 has been a preseason top 10 team and has had 0 playoff appearances, 0 conference championship appearances.
I understand what you're saying. And it
is the Bo Pelini effect to some degree, though. Like, is good enough good enough? And where's the line in Happy Valley?
With a $56 million buyout, I think good enough is going to have to be good enough.
Yeah. Can I ask a serious question? Why do they publish this list so early before the football season?
What do you mean so early? We're a week away from kickoff.
I know we're a week away from kickoff, but this seems like a week 3 thing that the AP should be getting into this. We can do the coaches poll, perfectly fine with that, but the Associated Press is putting a lot of emphasis on like the first 3 letters of their name right now when they just publish this so early. Because it's like, what are you actually showing me?
You want to know the real answer?
Michigan is number 9 in the country. You haven't seen anything about them.
Do you want to know the real answer?
Yeah.
Boredom. They probably don't have anything else to write about because it's August and the season hasn't started.
To be fair, but again, they're the Associated Press.
Yeah.
You have all of the news to choose from, and you choose to publish a poll.
I love it.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there who don't think there should be any public polls until about week 5, once we've gotten through the non-con and into 2 games of your conference slate.
I
Like,
truly think the only poll that should be published is the one that matters in the college football playoff poll. Like literally the AP poll
they'll
doesn't
start in
mean
week
anything.
9.
Yeah, the AP poll literally means nothing. Hey, we just spent 20 minutes talking about it, and if you missed it, you can catch it at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620 or wherever you may find your podcast. That was brought to you by Cunningham's Pub. It is a Wing Wednesday. Head over to our Twitter page at AfterHours1620 or follow us on Facebook at AfterHours1620 on Facebook as well. Share or retweet the GIF or post of our wings. Tonight, we're going to enter you into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Cunningham's Pub. 2 great locations, the Old Mill District and our friends down in Blackstone who provided us with amazing Nashville hot wings tonight.
Ooh.
Try any one of their 12 wing flavors. They are all delicious. Check out Cunningham's Pub tonight. We'll be right back finding out what's trending on social media on 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Forsman's Finest Decks. As Dan Campany just told you, the college football season is just right around the corner. And if you want your house to be the hangout spot this fall as you're taking in those football games, how about the finer things while you do it? Have Forsman's Finest Deck come build you a deck, put a cover on it, add that something that your house has been missing so you can mount some TVs and have a hangout spot on your outdoor patio. Forsman's Finest Decks is building the finest decks in Omaha. Head over to forsmansfinest.com and have your dream deck built this fall. Omaha's a weird place, guys. There's legitimate sunshine outside right now in the midst of a torrential downpour. The storms are supposed to be rolling into the Omaha area here in the next 15 to 20 minutes, so we'll try to keep you updated. The rain is pouring down, but the Omaha Dome is in full effect right now.
AccuWeather says the rain is ending in 17 minutes.
10 minutes ago, it told me it was raining until 2 o'clock, so I need to figure itself out. It is time for the social media soundbite. Before we get there, we're going to let you know about our friends at Bellevue University. Athletics are almost underway, and if you want to keep up to date on all things Bellevue Athletics, all you got to do is download the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. It is time for the social media soundbite where Dan Campinen has a plethora of things to find. There's a lot of news today, Dan. I'm excited to see what is trending on Twitter.
Probably not what you hoped it was going to be,
Okay.
to be fair. So we're actually going to take it to a sport and a side of the internet that we actually, we kind of rarely go there,
Okay.
to be completely honest.
We cover a lot of ground on this show, so this is interesting.
We do cover a lot of ground. But
You're welcome.
there is controversy brewing in NASCAR.
Oh no. Oh no.
Let's take a listen to what I
Why are
hope
we
will be
doing
decent
this?
audio. And if he curses, I'm gonna dump it. So all right, so I guess I have to narrate. Joey Logano got basically bumped during the race, causing him to not get first place, which he would have gotten had he not gotten bumped and slammed into the wall. But Joey Logano, being the totally normal, sane person that he is,
All right, can we just cut this audio because it just sounds like
Yeah.
in the background?
decides to accelerate super hard in pit row at the winner's pit crew and his family, and oh yeah, his tiny baby child.
Is this did the winner bump him?
Yes.
Yes, the winner
Okay.
bumped him to basically knock him out of first place, along with Danny Hamlin.
I actually read about this because it was so insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The guy was in 4th place and he needed to win to like qualify for
The guy
next
is Austin
round.
Dillon, by the
Austin
way.
Dillon.
Yep, Austin Dillon.
He was in like 4th place. He needed to win to get to the next round of the NASCAR playoffs. And so he just drove into everybody and put them all on the wall and won.
I'm kind of here for it. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Well, and so now,
And he's like, and afterwards he was like, sorry, but I had to do it.
I also don't really hate that Joey Logano's reaction was "F you, man." Can I listen? I mean, you guys know me. I don't know jack about NASCAR, but
Me neither.
I'm a little pissed right now.
about what? Oh, did you want something else for social media?
No.
soundbite?
I am mad about that. But
You're always mad about that. That's why you don't let your producer pick.
why the hell is Austin Dillon allowed to drive the number 3 car? Can we talk about that for a second? Why is that number
Reasons.
why is that number not retired? Like, shouldn't that belong to Dale Earnhardt forever and only? Like, I would feel gross driving that car.
Mm.
Like, sorry, that doesn't sit right with me.
It doesn't sit right with anyone. A lot of people actually do get super
Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone. in
teed
that.
off. Actually, fun fact, including Danny Hamlin and Joey Logano, who he knocked out of first place in this race. So Austin Dillon has now basically been told, hey, fun fact, your points don't matter for the playoff anymore. So have fun trying to make that up in the next few races. And you've been fined money. And he has pissed off Danny Hamlin and Joey Logano, 2 of the most vengeful drivers in NASCAR.
Yeah,
Who-
Joey Logano seems very hinged.
Joey Logano has quite literally fist fought multiple people
I've seen
after
this.
races just for fun, just because of perceived slights in a 500 lap race. So, Austin Dillon,
But
you're in for a pretty fun week.
there
buddy.
has to be some ramifications for this for Joey Logano, though, right? Like, you can't basically threaten to run over a man's entire family,
I believe.
which is the allegation, or which is like what he was alluding
Well,
to here.
I believe it has come down. Yes, he has been fined $50,000.
Yeah, cool. Hey, you threatened murder. We're gonna take money from you.
Well, not so much threatened, but
Dude, if somebody revved their engine up at my children, I'm going to prison. Like, there's no
Mm.
debate here. Like, if I'm not the one. I would not be cool with this. I get why Joey Logano is upset. I think he has every right to be. But like, you're gonna come over and rev your engine at my kid. Like, go fish, buddy.
go fish.
wasn't so much revving his engine. So when you look at like the inside the car view, it doesn't look that bad because you're like, oh, people are all over the track, until you realize that everyone else is in like a nice line on the other side of him, like going.
I'm pulling Joey Logano out of his car. That's what would happen. I'm telling you right now.
If you go to the side view right after everyone gets out of the way, he full on squeals it,
Yeah, I would be pulling
as
him out of
only
his
a
car.
NASCAR driver can squeal it.
Joey Logano, you like to fist fight? I got one for you, buddy. Rev your engine up at my kids. We'll have a real long conversation about it. Hey, if you missed the social media soundbite, want to hear us talk about NASCAR, which I'm pretty sure was the first time that's ever happened in the 5 years of the show, you can check it out at soundcloud.com/after-hours1620. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If your business needs help with social media marketing, online advertising, or website design, Pixel Fire Marketing XPService.com is local, and they're here to help. Their social media experts will ignite your social media presence and entice your ideal client and engage your brand online today. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more information. We're buying and selling. On the other side of the break, we come back at 1620 Zone. Hey, but it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. If you're a home or business owner and you have plumbing questions or needs, AX Plumbing is here to help. They'll leave your home or business cleaner than they found it. All you got to do is head over to axpservice.com tonight to book an estimate with Nick and the crew. They'll come out, they'll diagnose your issue, fix your problem for the long term, and again, leave your house or business cleaner than they found it. Head over to axpservice.com and book an estimate tonight. 7:08 on a Wednesday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. If you've been affected by the seasonal storms, head over to pyramidroof.com and book a free estimate today where you never have to settle for less. Jimmy Allen, John Schreiner, Dan Campinen, Henry Ludwig with you here tonight. It's time for Buy or Sell, where Henry's been racking his brain all day and has thought of these questions all by himself and now asks them of us after he turns his microphone on.
Well, that's not my fault. All right. All right. I got the questions now.
All right.
Gentlemen, this time of the year marks the end and beginnings. Fall camp is here and golf season is ending. On the eve of the first week of the FedEx Cup, Hideki Matsuyama, don't know how to say that. It sounds
Hideki Matsuyama.
Yeah.
That guy.
Will be missing his caddy and his coach as their passports were stolen on a stopover in London. Buy or sell, this will affect the bronze medal winner this weekend.
This is becoming a thing, by the way. We see athletes go out of town and their houses get robbed, or a friend of mine just cashed in the main event of the World Series of Poker, got targeted and had money stolen out of his car because they were in town looking for poker players who just left their stuff unlocked, right? And I feel like security or police presence need to be raised at these type of events where high profile athletes and their belongings are going to be. But I don't think it's going to affect them. I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah, it wasn't so much the money, it was the passports.
That's
of
a big
these
deal.
guys who had their visas in their passports.
Yeah.
Like they can't get into the US now. They're having problems. They're hoping they're going to make it by the time the tournament starts. But
Hey,
it's
listen,
like,
Scotty Scheffler can go to jail and get a teardrop tattoo and still perform. I think these guys are going to be fine.
is it going to affect him? Yeah, if he doesn't have his regular caddy on the bag,
That's a big deal.
that's a problem.
Henry, what was his name?
I'm not saying
What is
that.
it? Come on, one more time.
Hideki Matsuyama?
Hideki
Matsuyama.
Matsuyama.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not good with doing that. Anyways, question number 2.
Welcome to radio, buddy.
By the way, it's not going to affect him.
Yeah.
We've seen this happen multiple times with multiple different golfers where their initial caddy isn't there.
And they have to pivot. Yeah.
There is always some looper whose golfer is not going to play in that tournament for some random reason, who's like, hey, I can hop on your bag. And then that guy just ends up winning the tournament somehow, i.e. John Daly, just like always winning with someone who's not his actual caddy. It's amazing. And plus Japan is like, we are on it. We are getting these guys passports and visas ASAP.
What is the title of our stream about tonight?
Oh, it's an old E-Bombs World video. It's badger, mushroom.
Is that that's the guy that did
I
Look
thought
at
the
My
kids would
Horse.
like it.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of questions about it. Ben, I was curious.
I've seen things,
Ben, I didn't know the
I've
answer
seen
to
them
your
with my
question.
eyes. I've seen things. I see them all the time. Cheese, carrots, handbags.
Henry, what did you sign yourself up for?
I don't know. I don't know.
What's question number 2?
While the Huskers have yet to name a starter, Luke Fickell did not want to wait. The Miami transfer Tyler Van Dyke will be your QB1 for the Badgers. Buy or sell that TVD will is the fix for the Badgers offense.
So I have so many question marks about Phil Longo's offense this year. I have a lot of question marks about Luke Fickell at the head of that program long term. I don't think Tyler Van Dyke is the answer. I think Tanner Mordecai is twice the quarterback he is, and he couldn't figure it out last year. Obviously, the injuries piled up too, but I'm all out on Wisconsin this season.
Yeah. This offense in Wisconsin just doesn't seem like a good match. And I think a lot of people said that from the beginning. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
There's
several people, me included.
There's a way that Wisconsin's been pretty successful playing the game, and here we are trying to sling it around the yard in Madison.
Ask the people in Lincoln how that
And
goes.
I already told you what I think of TVD. Like, 4 years in Miami, all they did was try to get rid of him a bunch of times.
There's a reason people are all in on Miami this year.
Yeah.
And it's a lot because the quarterback has been upgraded.
Wisconsin knows a lot about northern pike fishing and lamprey eels. Tyler Van Dyke is going to be their lamprey eel that sucks all of the life out of the Badgers this year. Sell hard.
Did he hit the sauce before the show started?
I think he might have. There was something in those wings.
Henry, what was the
What'd
golf-
you do, Derek?
Henry, what was the golfer's
I
name?
had a habanero.
One more time.
pepper
One more time?
He's
No?
not going
All
there.
right.
No.
Nope, I'm not going there.
All right.
Hideki Matsuyama.
Matsuyama.
Hideki.
Yeah.
Hideki Matsuyama.
We're still not going there.
All right.
back half of the
Don't you want to be a broadcaster?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're well.
Names are hard to pronounce, bud.
Yep.
Ask Jimmy.
Back half of the year is here for the MLB. As we stand on August 14th, Yankees, Guardians, Astros, Phillies, Dodgers, and the Brew Crew all sit atop their respective divisions.
Yeah, they do.
Buy or sell, one of these teams will raise the ugliest trophy in sports.
Did you name the White Sox as a leader there?
Nope.
No. Okay, just curious.
We didn't.
Man, I'm starting to feel.
We know you're a Yankees
starting to feel
homer.
really good about what's happening in the Bronx this season. Aaron Judge is going to win the MVP. Their bullpen is finally coming along.
They got a half game lead on Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore's really the AL East is the best division in all of baseball. By the way, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to finally say it. The Yankees are going to win the Commissioner's Trophy.
Good to know that the Yankees won't win the Commissioner's Trophy now this year.
Yeah.
Jimmy just jinxed it.
It's going to happen.
This is baseball. This isn't football. You can't just jinx your
It's
team
gonna happen.
early on in
It
the
is
season
going
like
to
I can
happen.
with the Packers every year.
The Dodgers still have Shohei Ohtani.
Who doesn't pitch famously?
Yeah, but he plays every day.
Yeah, he's really good.
Dodgers
too.
are going to win.
I'm sort of all in on the Phillies and the team that's not.
I don't
good
hate that
either,
pick.
because I really like the Phillies. Their culture and their team, they get along really well, and I think that goes a long way over 162 games. But I have been saying it this whole time, still super duper high on Baltimore. I think that they're going to win their division or they're going to get in with
No,
a
they're
wild
not.
card spot, and they're going to be the team to beat when it comes to playoff time.
And nobody mentioned the Cleveland Guardians.
No,
Yeah.
because they're not going to win their division. The Minnesota Twins will win that division.
Cleveland
They'll
sucks.
sneak in. And if they have to
Like
face
the
the
city,
Yankees,
not the team.
same thing that happens every single freaking year to my Twins is going to happen. They're going to play all 7 games of their first series against the Yankees, and it's just going to be walk-off shot in the 9th. Congratulations, Aaron Judge. You're the best player in baseball once again, and you've ruined Dan Campanen's full 168 game year.
Like I don't know if people like obviously Judge is having the season he's having, but like it really helps him having Juan Soto in that lineup too.
Yeah,
Like
because the
that-
focus isn't on him.
Yep, it's been pretty great. What do you got?
So I say no. I think the Royals pull it off.
The
The
Royals.
Royals.
Yes, if they're
Bobby
home-
Witt
they're-
Jr.
Yes, he's gonna win MVP.
He's not going to win
Yes, he
MVP,
will.
but okay.
I think if they play at home, they go undefeated no matter what. Now, if they get to that point, who knows?
So they got to win the Central first, and they're currently
Yeah.
5 games back, 5.5.
Yeah, but there's still there's a lot of time left. I feel
Wow, you just John goes
The
nobody
Royals.
nobody brings up the Guardians, and 2 people in the room go they're actually not even going to win their division.
Tied for the best record in baseball.
Yeah. All right. Well, do we have any more questions left?
Yeah, we got 2 more.
All right. What was the golfer's name?
Matsuyama.
Not even
Nope,
close.
no.
Go ahead.
Modest Yahoo.
Modest-
Yeah.
Husha Mazzilli. Go ahead.
A lot of
TJ. Ushmizu.
a lot has been made of the Team USA basketball after they won the gold medal. From Jason Tatum being a complete trash to LeBron being the heart and soul of America. But not enough has been made of the true clutch player from the team, Mr. Steph Curry. He came through in the championship against France and brought home gold. Buy or sell that it's a little too late for Steph to have been.
Who
his
has
first
said
one.
Jason Tatum is trash?
Me, Jason
Oh.
Tatum
Campen.
sucks.
Okay.
The worst player in all of basketball.
You're the only
Whoa.
person
He
that
doesn't
said that.
deserve any of the accolades. The only good thing about
Why do you
him
hate Jason
is his
Tatum?
large St. Louis tattoo that he has across his back.
Why do you hate Jason Tatum? I didn't know this.
Because he plays for Boston.
Oh, what's that poem from that movie?
I'm gonna tell you
10
right
Things
now.
I hate about you. I hate the way you. I hate your stupid walk.
You
I
actually
your
hate
stupid
Jason Tatum?
face. Yes,
Why?
because he's so overrated. Everyone talks about Boston.
I'm just waiting for Joey Colbert to come kick the door in.
I am too. And half of it is because I do love antagonizing Joey about basketball.
Sure.
Because he's such a passionate Boston Celtics fan. But I hated all of this like Brown and Tatum talk that we've had to suffer.
They won the NBA championship.
You know what? No, Jimmy. And here I'm gonna.
Oh, they did. I
No.
saw it happen. I watched it.
It happened. And I'm getting on top of my soapbox right now to let you know that this is absolute malarkey. We're not allowed to stroke off the Boston Celtics for winning another championship right now when they should have done it 4 or 5 years ago when they had basically the same exact core that they have now.
Henry, Hideki Matsuyama. I don't understand. Like,
I just hate Jason Tatum.
Okay,
I hate
all right.
Jason Tatum.
Well, okay.
I hate
fine.
Jaylen Brown.
And didn't we give Steph his flowers last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand this question.
Not enough.
I don't remember what the question is, but I sell.
Dan wanted to just throw out some Jason Tatum hate.
Yeah, I
think.
guess.
I think he was just on one for Jason Tatum today.
This is why I don't let Dan ride buy or sell anymore.
The question was,
It's off the rails.
is it too little too late that we have
Hideki
just barely
Matsuyama.
named Steph Curry to the Olympic team when he should have been on it probably 4 years prior, and now he won't be on it 4 years from now? He gets one run at the Olympics to show us.
He didn't.
Hey,
He was
I
hurt.
am
He
the
was
best
hurt
player in
last.
the world.
He was hurt 4 years ago.
Still could have been on the roster
Yeah, I don't know.
For what reason?
I don't care.
for the extra weight. Basketball.
What is happening, Red? Henry, what's the last question?
Matsuyama.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
Buy or
Not a
sell
shocker.
that Florida can win half of their final stretch of their season. The Florida Gators.
The Florida Gators.
Yes.
So here,
Oh,
is this your question?
No, this is a
Okay,
this is
'cause-
a random Henry question.
Good.
Yes.
I'm here for it because I was actually thinking about this last night. I think I like Florida this season.
No,
nobody,
come
when
on.
nobody else is.
Is Dan Mullen still their coach?
No, it's Billy Napier.
Napier. Dan
Oh, I
Mullen.
have to follow the SEC now too.
They're
You
la-
work on a sports
said they're-
talk show,
yeah,
Dan.
yeah. You should follow all the teams and all the conferences. You said the last 6, Henry?
Yes.
2, 3, 4. Okay, so their last 6 would be Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Florida State, and Kentucky.
They got one.
Yeah, they're gonna beat Kentucky.
You sure?
No. But hear me out. So their win total is 6.5, right? So if they can get through those first 6, we've already talked about the Miami matchup. They play Samford. I already told you Texas A&M's overrated. They have to go to Mississippi State. They get UCF, and they have to go to Tennessee. So and you throw Kentucky into that last game, that's 7. If they can win 6 of those first 7, they're already halfway to their win total. All they got to do is win one more of those last 6. Now, that's going to be a big stretch, but listen, there's rivalry games in there, and you throw records out the window, right? They're going to play Georgia close. I know people are going to tell me they didn't last year, but I think they're going to this year. Texas is banged up the running back position. We don't know what that's going to look like. LSU is still figuring it out, but they still have Brian Kelly, and I think they're going to be better than people that think they are. And I think they can catch Florida State late.
I think Florida might win 4 games total.
Okay, so they'd go under their win total, 6.5.
I have a big under on that one. I think. Look,
So you have them
man,
beating Samford, Mississippi State, UCF, and Kentucky?
I have Samford, Mississippi State, UCF, and Kentucky. Yeah, that's correct. Those are the 4 that I think they can win.
Put it on the list. Texas A&M comes to the swamp, gets beaten week 3. Put it
Boy,
on the
I don't
list.
know, man. I do not like Florida.
Billy
at all this
Napier's going
year.
to save his job.
I don't think so. I think he's done. Florida's a 4-8 team. That schedule's rough.
Dan?
Bring back Steve Spurrier.
Henry, how do you pronounce the golfer's name?
Masayama.
There you go. All right.
Perfect.
You
All right.
got
If
it.
you missed Buy or Sell and I want to hear us randomly talk about Hideki Matsuyama in random parts of the segment, you can do it at soundcloud.com/after hours. 1620 was brought to you by Pepper Jack's Grill. You can stop by any one of the 10 great Pepper Jack's locations tonight. Grab yourself a steak rice bowl, throw some grilled onions, mushrooms, green peppers on top of it. Make sure you grab some spicy ranch on the way out. It's so good. They'll even give you some on the side if you need some extra. It'll help. It's Pepper Jack's Grill. Stop by tonight and grab dinner. We'll be right back. Breaking down the All-American list from The Athletic here on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody. John Schreiner here for Bob Williams of Williams Law. If you've got a pending legal situation in your life and you're sitting there saying, I have questions about this, you need to get a hold of Bob at 402-522-6317 and get that free, no obligation legal consultation. Bob's going to walk you through the process, how he will represent you, what your rights are, and talk you through every step of the legal process as it pertains to your specific case. Doesn't matter if it's civil litigation, criminal charges, DUI, whatever it may be, Bob's going to have the answers that you need to get the best representation that you can possibly have. So give him a call at 402-522-6317. Get your no obligation legal consultation today, or you can check out williamslawllc.com.
7:26 on a Wednesday night here on 1620 Zone, Wing Wednesday night, courtesy of our friends at Cunningham's Pub.
Love those guys.
We are brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. There's storms rolling in tonight, and if you're worried about what's happening or what's going to happen, or maybe you're going to have to replace your roof, head over to pyramidroof.com and book a free estimate today. John Schreiner, Jimmy Allen, our good friend Dan Campinen is directing traffic with Henry Ludwig tonight. It is time to break down the athletics posting today of the All-American teams. And John Schreiner, you and I both have a couple of
questions,
bones to pick about this. I asked earlier if you thought for sure Dylan Gabriel was the best quarterback in the Big Ten.
I do.
The Athletic thinks he's the best quarterback in all of America, as he's the first-team quarterback for the offense. I do agree with him in running back, with Ollie Gordon and Ashton Jeanty being the two guys.
I don't know enough about Ashton Jeanty to make a decision on
he's
that.
the real deal. I think he's a lot of the, obviously, Boise State getting a massive upgrade at quarterback on paper as well. But I think he's a lot of the reason that Boise State's getting the hype that they have in this offseason.
Yeah. Look, I think, I know you have worries that Dylan Gabriel's going to put up numbers. I think he's going to put up huge numbers.
I think he's going to put up numbers. I don't think it's going to be a matter of walking in the door day one and then being the same quarterback he was at Oklahoma.
Yeah. I don't have like I told you, I don't know much about Ashton Jeanty. This list, the one question I have on the first team offense, Tateroa McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona.
People had him projected as a first-round pick a year ago.
Is he really going to be one of the best wide receivers in the country, along with Luther Burden?
I mean, people were saying that
is he going to be
he
better
could have been a top 15 pick in the NFL draft if he was
than Emeka Ibuka at Ohio State?
Man, I think a lot of the reason, and this is and it shouldn't be a fault to Emeka Ibuka, I think the quarterback situation at Ohio State is why you probably don't see him on that first team, because I don't think they're really set to say, okay, he's probably a first team talent, but he might not have a first team guy getting him the ball. And that's going to be a big reason for
and McMillan has Noah Fafita.
Yeah, and he's good, by the way.
He's pretty good.
I still think there's going to be some growing pains in Arizona too, but I don't feel super comfortable or confident about any team this year. There's not one team in the country. That's kind
of the vibe around college football, is it could go any way.
And I think the honest reason that you have Georgia listed above Ohio State in the AP top 25 is okay, we feel comfortable with who their quarterback is.
Yeah, we know Carson Beck.
We don't even feel comfortable saying who Ohio State's quarterback is going to be, let alone getting the job done. And then obviously Oregon making the jump. There's so many. This college football season has so many possibilities for it being special and fun and unique, just because there's so many unknowns, and not even just on rosters, but you got 4 teams jumping to the ACC, 4 teams jumping to the Big Ten, and I think this list reflects that, because there is so much of a scatteredness where it's not so heavily dominated. As much as the AP top 25 was dominated by the Big Ten, the ACC, you don't really see that across these lists.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. It's a mixed bag, kind of. I mean, the first team offense is Oregon, Oklahoma State, Boise State, Missouri, Arizona, Michigan, LSU, Texas, Alabama, Ohio State, Alabama. Yes, Alabama has 2 offensive linemen on the Athletics first team.
Yeah,
which actually makes a lot of sense, because
it'd make a lot more sense if your microphone is turned on.
That's my fault.
Go ahead.
Number 2. Because if you watched Parker Brailsford last year, he is going to be due for a huge season at the center position for Alabama. Following Kalen DeBoer and having the massive freshman season that he did last year, I see no reason why he isn't going to be first team All-American no matter what. Minus the fact that he's snapping to Jalen
Milroe. And noticeably not on this list, by the way.
But
Jalen Milroe.
If you looked at the Action Network's All-America team,
which is a bad list,
Jalen Milroe is their first team All-America quarterback.
I don't get it. I've seen so many flaws in that kid's game. I hate to pile on a kid, and I do.
4th and 31.
Yeah. It stood back there and made a sandwich, ate it, and then cooked himself a steak, and then threw the football. I could have got a guy open in that position, but that's it. That's all. That's all people are hanging their hat on with Jalen Milroe, is that one play against Auburn. Which, by the way, he put them in several situations to lose that game leading up to that play.
First team defense. There's a name on here that I want to talk about. We talked about it with Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. James Pierce Jr. This is a name that you need to acquaint yourself with, because by the end of the year, you're going to get sick of hearing it. James Pierce Jr. might end up being the number 1 pick in next year's NFL draft.
Ooh.
This guy is like, he's going to blow up quarterbacks all over the SEC. He's that good. He's going to be incredible.
Henry, can you go let our next guest in? The Cam Lenhart, the head coach of Bennington's football program, is going to join us here in just a second. I don't hate the notion of a defensive end going number 1 overall in this class, because I don't think there's going to be that quarterback that's going to drive that market. And I don't think there's that guy either. You don't have a Caleb Williams coming out of this draft class. Now, to our conversation earlier with the ACC networks, Justin Walters, I think Cam Ward, if there's a guy that could play himself into being the number 1 overall pick, I think that's the guy that could do it.
Here's my reasoning. I think the teams that are going to be sufficiently bad enough to garner the number 1 pick already have drafted their quarterback.
Ooh, that's also a good point.
So there's going to be somebody out there who's looking for an elite pass rusher, and James Pierce Jr. is going to be that guy.
If Carolina finds themselves having the worst record again this year, they have to move on from Bryce Young, right?
They don't have to.
I guess they don't have to, but I mean, it would be weird if they didn't. Hey, we're going to talk, speaking of quarterback play at a high level, we're going to talk to the Bennington Badgers, their head coach, Cam Lenhart, on the other side of the break. If you missed our breakdown of a lot of things, we talked a lot of college football there. Check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Jerry Ryan. If you're watching on the stream right now and you're thinking, man, John and Jimmy are sharply dressed tonight, I wish Dan Campinen had that sweet of a shirt. You can buy Dan Campinen a shirt at Jerry Ryan on 78th Dodge. He might even wear it on camera, but you can also look good as well. They'll upgrade your closet for both college football and college basketball season. They have the best from Johnny O and Peter Millar in all red and blue options for Creighton Blue Jay basketball, as well as Nebraska football. Get your closet ready for game day at 78th and Dodge. Stop by, tell John and Dan and the crew that the After Hours show sent you over there. We'll be right back talking to Bennington Badgers head coach Cam Lenhart on the other side of the break here on 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Dan Campinen here for Pepper Jack's Grill. We've got 10 great local locations of Pepper Jack's Grill in the Omaha area. So right now, as you are sitting in your car, sitting at your home, or sitting at your computer, you are not that far away from a Pepper Jack's. And hey, you know what? You can be just like me, and you can get your steak gunner Philly with all the vegetables, including a little bit of that jalapeno juice to make it extra spicy, just the way you like it. And remember, like I say every single night when we have this show, do not miss out on those fries with that ranch. It will change your life at any of Pepper Jack's 10 great local locations.
7:38 on a Wednesday night here at 1620 Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. If your home has been affected by the seasonal storms, you have questions about your roof, windows, gutters, or siding, head over to pyramidroof.com and book a free estimate today. The Kings of Class B are in studio with us. Cameron Lenhart and his Badgers have joined us. He's joined tonight by Gavin Olson, Jack Jansen, and Hudson Newverth. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thank you guys for letting us be on here again.
3 straight state championships. What will be different about this year's team compared to the last 3?
I think biggest thing for us probably will be just in the offensive scheme. We now have a year under our belts with our new OC, and so you can just see a lot guys are moving quicker. Things are picking up at a lot faster pace. So I think we won't have maybe as slow as a start as what we had in that 2023 season. I still think our defense is going to be a really strong point to us, though, so we'll rely on them to get us through. But I'm excited to see what both sides can really go.
Human nature is a funny thing. And when you win as much as you guys have, I think it would be natural to kind of get into like, this is just what happens. Like we're going to step on the field and win. How do you keep the edge with your guys when you've had so much success and a lot of them don't know anything but winning state titles?
Yeah, I would say it starts in our off season. And I think as me personally for a coach and as our coaching staff, we try to find some way where we can still reinvent ourselves every year. I think that's the only way you grow. And so we have different things that we're doing even this year in comparison to the last 3 years. I think we just want to find ways that we can help our kids be in the best position to be successful. I would say too, it's really comes from our seniors. This senior class has obviously had tremendous amount of success, but they've had success because they're tremendous work ethic. And so I don't think they're satisfied with where they're at. I know they can have desires to accomplish something that no one's ever done in our school history, at least. And so, I think they're taking it one practice at a time, and we don't have to do much. It's all on them.
When we talked a little bit about this off air, but we talk about Class B, you got to be able to run the football. And whether it be Quentin a couple years ago or Nick last year, you guys feature your running back. Who are some of the guys that are going to carry the ball for you this year? You're excited about?
Yeah, so I'm excited. We have a young man who's a junior, Jayton Wilkerson, who's kind of like I said, bought his time, and he'll see some playing time. And then we even have a younger guy and a sophomore, Will Goots, who's been playing that position there. So those two, I think, will kind of carry the load, and we may even have some other guys that are young just step into that position. Our quarterback run game may be a little heavier than what it's been in the past. So yeah, we're really excited with all of it.
Will there be a game this year where you throw it more than 20 times?
That might definitely be a possibility. We do have our quarterback's strength definitely is his arm strength. And so with us returning probably, I would say 4 starters at the receiving position, there's no doubt that is our strong suit on offense. And so with a big arm and guys that can catch well and run well, it's no reason to not get them the ball as much as we can.
When I think about Bennington, I remember back to the days when I was in high school 114 years ago. And it was a small school. It was an older building. The facilities, they were what they were. And now you guys have like elite facilities. I mean, your field is beautiful. It's a new building at the school. How much does having that facility play into being able to create a successful football program?
It plays a tremendous amount of effort. The fact that we don't have to worry about lining the fields. 5 yards is always the same 5 yards.
Yep.
We can practice with our entire team on the field every single day.
Yeah.
So the fact that our community has allowed us to have what we have, we can't thank them enough for that. And like I said, it does help us tremendously in doing what we do.
Hey, Coach, I have to apologize. I literally just got your text messages saying that you're here. So thank you for getting that over to me. And I don't know why my phone was sucking. We'll talk to a couple of your players now. Gavin Olson joins us in studio. Gavin, 6 interceptions a year ago, 31 tackles, 6 pass breakups. How much do you pay attention to those numbers? And are you kind of laying out what you'd like those numbers to look like this season?
Obviously, I pay attention pretty well. I mean, in the off season, it's more important, but during the season, I pay more attention to winning the games and one game at a time. This season, I'm obviously hoping to beat the record that I had last year and the 6 takeaways, and that's probably my main part.
You got invited to the Hawaii Tiki Bowl. What is the Hawaii Tiki Bowl, and how did this all come about?
So one day, I just randomly got a DM from the organization, and from what I got it was like a all-star game for seniors going to be, and with like a bunch of college coaches. I got invited, which is really cool. And I won't be attending just because it's over Christmas and I like spend time with my family.
Hold on. You got a free offer to go to Hawaii in December.
I don't think it's free.
It's not free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not
I was
free.
like, buddy, let's have a conversation after this interview.
No, it's not free.
Okay, well, never mind.
Can I go to the Hawaii Tiki Bowl instead of you?
Listen, you guys have won a state championship every year. You guys have been in high school, and you're going to be a senior this year. What would it mean to this senior class and you specifically to win 4 consecutive state championships in football?
I mean, that's a dream. Like everybody dreams of that when you're little. four state titles is something that not much people get to be a part of, and it'd be obviously something special and something to bring back to Bennington.
You've had some conversations with recruiters. Have they given you an indication of what they'd like to see from you this season to start getting those offers rolling in?
So obviously my main part of my game is probably my takeaways and my zone coverage. So they said that that's a big part of my game, and to see me excel in that and get more open field tackles and excel in my tackle game would be a big part of my recruiting process.
What's the hopes? You're wearing a Bennington basketball polo tonight. What's the expectations for the hardwood this season?
Well, my dad's a coach, so I'm big into big into basketball. And
threw a watermelon over the plate for you there.
Yeah, we return a lot of people, and I mean, last season heartbreak loss, but
sure.
And we got him back at home, so I'm excited to play him again.
All right. Well, thanks for being here tonight, man. Good luck this fall and this winter. We appreciate it. We'll go over to Jack.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Jack Jansen joins us in studio tonight. We asked Coach about this run game, and obviously it's a big deal for you guys up front. But you got to be able to stop the run in Class B too, and you play on the defensive line. When you know it's going to be a rough night of the sleds every Friday night in Class B, how do you prepare yourself mentally to defend the run?
I mean, a big part of it's just being aggressive, being as violent as possible. Having more energy than the other guy and try and break them before they break you.
We hear about the culture of winning. We talked with Coach a little bit about it, of not being satisfied and keeping that edge. What's your experience with the culture at Bennington, and how were you introduced to that culture of winning by the players that came before you?
Yeah, as a freshman, I mean, the first year we won it, there was tons of leaders on there. They really set the standard of what the culture is, and they really kind of just led on from there. So.
What is the culture? We hear that word thrown around a lot.
I'd say just 100% everything you do, whether it's on and off the field, we want to be the best at everything. We want to give everything we got, and to the best of our ability.
Did Coach Olson pay you guys to wear those polos tonight?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even on the basketball team.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I just needed a polo. So
we appreciate you dressing sharp to be here.
Yep.
What's different about this year's team for you? What stands out?
Definitely. Well, for me personally, I'm definitely gonna need to step up more as a leader and lead some of the younger guys. I mean, we get a lot of returners on defense, so I think we'll be better there. But on offense, there's a lot of young guys with little experience, and they'll need some mentoring. But I think they'll definitely step up and be good again. You're
gonna continue your athletic career at Wayne State. Why was Wayne State the right fit for you?
I mean, I like what they're doing up there. I like their program. They're definitely on the come up. They're getting better every year. They have great facilities. They're close to home, and I like the coaches a lot.
Do you feel obligated to go out for basketball now after receiving the polo?
I mean, I might have to at this point.
Jack, we appreciate being here tonight, man. Good luck this fall. We'll go over to Hudson Newver, who joins us in studio tonight. Hudson, for you, you're a two-sport athlete, and you're actually on the team of which polo you're wearing tonight. Why has it been such a big deal for you to be a two-sport athlete at Bennington?
I think the biggest thing has just been trying to stay athletic in whatever I do. I started actually playing basketball and baseball to start, and then Coach Leonard kept bugging me. In my sophomore year, I finally went out for football, so it was a big step for me, and haven't ever looked back since I started. So it's been nothing but good to me.
So tight end has kind of become the position of the moment. It's kind of a glamour position now, but it's not all about touchdowns and end zone dances when you're actually playing tight end. What have you done to become a better blocker from the tight end position?
I think, especially like last year and going into this year, lining up against Jack and team periods throughout the year. I mean, that's obviously going to make you better. But, this year we got a specific tight ends coach. So that's helped me a lot, getting to kind of refine blocking and getting to work with the O-line coach too. So it's just done, but nothing but helping me. So
you're off to Wayne State as well. Any part of you going to miss playing hoops or playing baseball?
Yeah, a little bit, I mean, that's kind of how all of us are wired. We're competitors. We play multiple sports, and we just like to kind of get out and compete. That's just kind of how we're wired. And I'm not going to miss much. Me and Jack are actually in a room together, so it'll be fun up there.
Whose idea was it? Who said we're going to Wayne State? All right, Jack's pointing himself.
Why was Wayne State the right fit?
A lot like he said. I mean, the coaches up there, they're just, you can tell they're the real deal. We both went up there and, just kind of nudge each other and like, this is the right place. And,
is it a big deal for you to stay close to home?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got a bigger family around here, so it's just, it's hard to get away from where you're from, where you're born. And yeah, that's just a big thing for a lot of us small-time kids.
Don't lie to me. Is that your polo?
Yeah.
One more.
Yeah. Is there anything that you haven't done on the football field that you want to get done here in your last season for Bennington?
I just, kind of when it's crunch time, just take over a game, be the guy to just kind of put a game away and, obviously not try to be selfish or in any way, but just find a way to put the game away, kind of that crunch time and just help the team in any way.
It's easy for guys like us that are up in the booth or on the sideline or doing a radio show to say 3 state championships. What an accomplishment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How much is the conversation about a four-peat actually have it becoming a thing in this locker room?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, it doesn't even get said anymore. I mean, it's just all glued in our minds. It's just started from the guys that came before us. There's so many guys we looked up to that also play multiple sports. I mean, they just brought everything that they did to everything that they did. In every sport they did, it trickled down to everything, and we're just trying to carry on that tradition in Bennington.
Hudson, appreciate you being here tonight, Coach. We'll go back over to you, wrap this up. We're talking to the Bennington Badgers football team. Their head coach, Cameron Lenhart's with us in studio. When we talk about the pursuit of 4 and obviously 13-0 a year ago, how difficult is it for you personally to flip the calendar to the next season after you celebrate another championship?
I think what makes it, I think it's pretty easy because the kids are why we do this. This has been such a special group already, and just the amount of work they put in this summer. This is the highest attendance we've had in the summer weight room. This is the most attendance we've had in our 7-on-7 skills, and this is our highest roster we've ever had. So I just get excited that kids want to play football, and I'm excited to get back to work with them. And the start of the season has been great already. We're 3 days in, and I feel like we've been doing it for a long time. That just tells me how involved these guys are. And so, yeah, we're just looking forward to the next day.
I often ask coaches, like, what keeps you coming back? I mean, obviously, winning championships, it makes it easier to keep coming back. But where does the passion for coaching the game of football come from for you?
Yeah, I think I am really honest when I say this. I think if it kind of flipped for me when I got to Bennington. I didn't realize how special coaching can be from an aspect besides winning. Because when I got here, there was a culture of just treating kids the right way, coaching in the right mindset. And so that's what I really fallen in love with. I love seeing these guys grow up to be great young men. I think my favorite part is seeing kids who have graduated. We do an event called Badger Eve where kids can come back that graduate and just hang out. And it's one of my favorite things. And so I love seeing the kids who are developing in our program, but I like to see the kids more who've been in it and see what they're doing now and see what they're accomplishing.
I asked you this question last year, and your answer was stay the course. Finish the sentence. Bennington wins 4 in a row if they can do what?
Win every day. I think you hear that phrase from a lot of coaches, but that's seriously, we have to take it one day at a time. We can't look ahead. We can't reminisce. We are focused. Our next focus should only be tomorrow morning's 5:30 a.m. practice.
I'll stop asking kids about championships then. No worries. Hey, Coach, as always, we appreciate your time and thank you for being here. That is Cameron Lenhart, the head coach of Bennington for the football program. If you missed their segment tonight, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours. 1620 was brought to you by AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they could do it all. Check out axpservice.com for your plumbing, water heater, gas piping, and backflow prevention issues. AX Plumbing is locally owned and operated and will leave your home or business cleaner than they found it. Check out axpservice.com. Tonight, we're giving you last call. We come back here on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John Schreiner here for Cunningham's Pub. It is Wing Wednesday, and Derek and the crew got us some delicious Nashville hot smoked wings tonight. And baby, are they delicious. Every week I feel like I say these are my favorite wings. And every week I'm not lying to you. The Nashville hot that they brought to us tonight are absolutely amazing. Super smoky. They've got that nice fiery Nashville vinegary flavor to them. Oh, they're so delicious. If you want to experience that, get yourself to one of the 2 great Cunningham's locations, Old Mill, Blackstone. They are fantastic with the wings, and the rest of the menu also great. Get yourself an everything bagel salmon wrap. Jimmy loves it. It's his favorite thing. Everything on the menu is great. Also, the tap takeover. You can get some of the great beers from Cross Strain. You like the Fairy Nectar? Check it out. They got them on tap at both locations. Some different Cross Strain brews on tap for you tonight. They got the great specials. There's no reason not to go. Get yourself over to one of the 2 locations for Cunningham's tonight. Grab some wings, grab some drinks, and have a great evening with Cunningham's.
7:56 on a Wednesday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Book a free estimate tonight. You never have to settle for less. We got to get through this really quick. It is time for last call. Henry, go ahead and pod that down. Pull it down a little bit. There you go.
There we go.
Happens to the best of us.
CeeDee Lamb, if you can hear the sound of my voice,
Ooh,
come home, baby. Dallas, we got a guy for you. This guy named Brandon Ayuk is just dying to get out of San Francisco. We'll do a 1-for-1 trade right now.
Boy.
We will happily send Brandon Ayuk and wish him the best of luck in all of his future endeavors. And CeeDee Lamb, you want to play for a Super Bowl and get paid? Let me tell you where they do it at. They do it out in the Bay. CeeDee Lamb, just come on, come to San Francisco. We'd love to have a conversation with you. We got quarterback that can get you the ball and win you some playoff games. It'll be a great experience.
I would love to have the same kind of confidence that you do, Jimmy. Because if they don't want to pay Brandon Ayuk, they're not paying CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, they would pay CeeDee Lamb. They're not paying Brandon Ayuk because they have a number one wide receiver. They're going to pay CeeDee Lamb to be their future number one wide receiver.
I think Debo's their number one right now?
Yes, he's the second best player on their offense.
Behind Brock Purdy?
Yeah.
My last call. The New England Patriots know something you don't. They know that they're going to be a terrible football team this year.
I know that
because
though.
they traded their best player for 2 third-round picks today. Matthew Judon, their Pro Bowl defensive end. They just traded him for a third-round pick this year and a third-round pick next year.
This is what's known in the business as selling the farm.
They are tanking for the draft, and we have not even started the season yet. The Patriots are going to be terrible.
Dan?
Let it be said that Dan Campanen agrees with a convict on this show because Scotty Scheffler was correct today in pointing out that the format for the PGA playoffs in the FedEx Cup is absolutely silly. Why does he say it's silly, you may ask? Well, it's because in the last 3 weeks of their season, you can get injured and not win the FedEx Cup. Yes, a man who has won 2 majors this year and has been arrested before winning one of them is worried about getting injured in the next 3 weeks and not winning the FedEx Cup. I am all here for how weird and petty golf has gotten lately.
And it's just getting worse.
And how they just feel like, well, we can do whatever we want. We can speak as freely as we want to. And I haven't even touched on the fact that we're getting a Creators Cup before one of these events.
It's a good thing we're on tomorrow night.
Golf is amazing.
Ooh.
Henry, how do you pronounce it?
Ludwig.
Yeah. Matsuyama.
Matsuyama.
You were close. All right, what's your hot take of the
night? Bobby Witt Jr. is underrated. He should win MVP.
Hold on. As somebody that has some pretty hot takes about baseball, that one might take the cake.
No. Explain underrated,
yes.
Henry.
Okay.
Well, you got the floor. Explain underrated.
This guy is currently third in the MVP voting, but go ahead.
Yes, he should be number one.
Or betting
because
on it's not voting.
Who's number one right now?
Aaron Judge.
Yes, he is, because Yankee Stadium is a lot smaller than Kauffman, right? And so
right
he has
shorter.
He has more homers than Bobby Witt Jr. does. So if Bobby Witt Jr. was in Yankee Stadium,
I like this idea.
He would have like 10 more homers.
Yeah, no. All right.
All right, Henry.
He's perfectly rated. He's a really good player and is respected as such. Hey, that was the After Hours Lounge tonight. If you missed any of it, check it out at SoundCloud.com.
Mike Trout's not a bust.
After Hours 1620. You can listen to why I think Mike Trout is a bust there anytime you would like. It was brought to you by our friend Amber Best with Berkshire Hathaway. If you're looking for your forever home, Amber has found it for you. Head over to Amber Best. That's BESS.com tonight. Check out the townhome in Fremont that looks over Fremont Lakes that she could have you in tonight. It's got 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. You could be in it by the weekend by heading over to amberbest.com. For John Schreiner, Dan Campanen, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Creamsicle Day, everybody.
Vinny Testaverde.
first team All NBA. He's won a championship. He's done all this thing, and I can't find any minutes for that kid. It just didn't sit right with me.
Yeah, Steve Kerr definitely looks worse in this situation than Jason. You're right, though. They had homegrown talent, the NBA champion, all NBA player that was committed to being a part of Team USA for years to come and had already won one before, being a younger dude. So he knew the program. He knew how to navigate it.
Right.
And would have been, like you just said, Steph's going to be gone. LeBron's going to be gone. KD's going to be gone. He would have been that next in line to be that superstar guy who would have been one of the guys that would have been celebrated, and we would have looked at to even recruit other guys to come play. Now, what this says and what this shows some of those guys that may consider going to play is, should I go? Do I want to go be a part of this and not play and be embarrassed like Jason was? Now he's that barometer.
And your point is well taken, because those other guys might not even be on his plateau, like coming off a championship, first team All NBA,
right.
Like all those other, he's not playing. What are they going to do with me?
Exactly.
Like, do I really want to go there and have my family and my friends and everybody go, why aren't you playing?
Right.
Like Jason Tatum, like, let's just be honest. He probably hasn't had a DMP ever. Like, even when he was, like, what game did he not play in?
He's never been in this position ever. Ever.
And if you're Steve Kerr, don't you understand that? Don't you know that?
He has to know that. And Steve, I've liked Steve. I've known Steve.
Me too.
I've known him personally. I know him. Like, I like the guy.
Right.
But what you're saying, though, I mean, you cannot not have Jason Tatum playing.
To find a way, because I don't even know. Like, I don't know. But even with the Dream Team,
yeah,
with all those players, they found time for those guys. It wasn't like, oh, Charles Barkley, you're not gonna play, or like seriously,
like Scottie Pippen, you're not gonna play this game because the matchup says
like really, like that's the part that I've just.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah,
it really is.
And you could talk about matchups and all. The United States is supposed to win. This is 5 gold medals in a row. Stop it with the matchups. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that was a cop out.
That's a cop out.
That's a cop out. Right. You're supposed to be the matchup problem. They should be matching up to the United States. And so the fact that was the reason, it just didn't sit well with a lot of people.
Do you think? And I don't know if I'm Jason Tatum. I mean, I give him. He's a professional. He took it.
He is.
He didn't say anything. He just said, "I just tried to act like a professional in this whole situation."
Right.
It wasn't great, but from the reaction from family and friends and other people that, like this was not like other people making a big deal out of this. This was something that when you looked at it, you just couldn't figure it out. Dick Vitale went crazy over this.
You know who came out on top? Jaylen Brown. Because think about if that was another extra body of a similar body type as Jason Tatum.
Right. And he didn't play.
He would not have played if Jason Tatum didn't play. So that conversation being saved of not having to go through that and just having the conversation of other people saying he should have been a part of the team, he looks a little bit better in the situation than Jason does.
Yeah. No, I got it. I don't know how you as a coach, like that's part of you and your genius as a coach is to be able to figure out how to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And you get it. I get it. Egos, there's other people. Halliburton, we get that, right? Like Halliburton, he's a fine young player as well, but he's not Jason Tatum.
No.
He understands that when he's on, right? Yes.
No.
And if you're a Celtics fan too, you're like, there are 3 Celtics on the team, and the biggest star is not playing.
Jrue Holiday played more than Jason Tatum. I don't understand it. I don't. And how do you go back to your teams? If I were Jrue Holiday, I'd be like, this is my team then.
All right. You saw I got the run in the Olympics. Oh,
exactly.
Wait a minute. Jason, were you on the team? Oh, yeah, that's right. You did get in.
You got two DMPs.
Exactly. Not one. Two. It's going to be interesting. I don't buy into the, Mark Medina said that maybe when they play the Warriors, they might have a grudge, but not some whole season,
No.
revenge tour, whatever. The revenge tour.
No.
I don't see that. But I will feel like
Against
you
the
would,
Warriors?
yeah, against the war and
Yeah.
Steve Kerr.
Yes.
Like you would have, I'm sure you're not fond. You might not say it publicly, but you'll never forget that as a player, would you?
Absolutely not. Oh, he won't. And he will be after Golden State's neck for sure. I think they played Golden State Warriors last. And the other thing about that, they played the Warriors during this championship run. I think they beat them by like 60 points.
Right.
It's going to be 100.
It'll be 100 this year.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. It can get ugly.
Yeah. I just I don't know. I don't know the thinking about it. I just keep saying to myself, like, it's a dilemma. I get numbers and the crunching of the numbers and trying to figure it out. But if you would have told me going into the Olympics that he would not play 2 games, and I get it with the older players, and I'm not saying that there weren't a few minutes you could take from LeBron or a few minutes you could take from other people for Jason Tatum.
100%. Like, number one, and I said this on our show on Sundays, I was like, LeBron shouldn't be playing this many minutes anyway. I mean, he's got 1 or 2 more years left max,
right?
And he's out here, burning the night oil at the Olympics, playing way too many minutes. So yeah, I mean, Jason could have played some of those, and Jason's also a versatile player. He's 6'9", 6'10", but he plays the guard position, so he can play any one of those positions. It's not like we're playing position basketball anymore. It's it's positionless.
It is positionless, and so why couldn't he get out there? And I don't know. I feel for him because I think Jason has always fought this thing. Like, there's always been like people discount him or whatever for whatever reason, despite his numbers. Even when he didn't win the Finals MVP, he led the team in almost every category. And I get it. Jaylen Brown had earlier in the series played better, whatever. But in the game, in the deciding game, he shot 6 for 22 and he still won the NBA final. Like in the closeout game.
Yeah.
And Tatum went off.
Yeah.
It was weird. So he's always had that. People always questioning whether or not he had to make up to win.
Mm-hmm.
That was following him. And I've always said, you don't win until you win.
100%.
Right? Like we keep talking about this. Like people, I don't know. I covered Michael Jordan when he was starting out. And they didn't think he was going to win.
Exactly.
I was there. Like, people think everybody was rah-rah Michael Jordan from day one. No. They were like, he's a great player. He doesn't make his teammates better.
I remember that.
He won't win.
Yeah.
That's what they really thought Michael Jordan was going to win. Really? And then once he broke through, you couldn't stop him.
Right.
So 877-99 on Fox is our telephone number. We do want to hear from you on this. Just like Steve Kerr, who looks worse.
Mm-hmm.
I just, it's hard for me to think that Jason Tatum does, or should he just accept it, move on? This happens in other situations, or does Steve Kerr looks bad because he couldn't find a way to put one of the best American players who's on the Olympic team in action, not starting, not over, like more like sitting LeBron. That's not what we're talking.
I mean, but he should have started too if we want to go that route.
Could have gone there, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Even if we're not doing that,
yeah.
2 DMPs. Wow. All right, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Who looks worse? Is it Steve Kerr or just Jason Tatum and his, bruised reputation? And it continues. So it is the odd couple, Rob Parker and Kerry Rhodes in for Chris Broussard, right here on Fox Sports Radio. Stick and stay,
America.
You've put it off long enough. It's time to replace your tires. Tire Rack has tires that will elevate your drive. Touring tires for commuter comfort, performance tires for sporty handling, all-terrain tires for on- and off-road adventure. Go to TireRack.com to get started. Not sure where to begin? Use the Tire Decision Guide to get a personalized tire recommendation. The right tires for how, what, and where you drive. Choose from the full line of Bridgestone tires. Ship fast and free to a recommended installer near you, or choose the convenience of mobile tire installation. They'll bring your new tires to your home or your office and install them on site. It doesn't get much easier than that. Go to TireRack.com/sports to see their Bridgestone test results, tire ratings, and consumer reviews, and be sure to check out all the current special offers. Great tires and a great deal. What more could you ask for? That's TireRack.com/sports. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
It's here.
The climb starts. End zone. Let's make sure we start faster, right?
Guys you've heard of.
Hey, can't.
But mostly guys you've never heard of.
Get the first round pick.
2 words. Who cares? NFL preseason is here. Keep it locked for preseason news on Fox Sports Radio.
It's better over here. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. And look at you, hands perfectly placed on the wheel. Not like the driver to the right of you who's really going after that drum solo. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, North.
We'd like to introduce you to Tyler Bebout, owner of Modern Real Estate. Tyler, what would you say sets Modern Real Estate apart from other real estate agencies?
I think the very first thing buyers need to be focused on when they're buying a house is you're really no one until you have a pre-qualification letter or some sort of proof of funds in the bank, if it's cash, whatever, because we can't just show you any house. If you're qualified for a $300,000 house, then we can't be looking at $700,000 houses. We work with all sorts of lenders. They love our process as well in our new structure because, again, it's saving the buyer and saving the seller a significant amount of money. So it's easier for the buyer to get financing when it comes to debt to income and just their income qualifications. Find us at modernrealestateco.com, and then you can always just call us 402-450-5970.
Get a hold of a new kind of real estate agency, Modern Real Estate in Lincoln and Omaha. Find out more at modernrealestateco.com.
Squeeze the last drop out of summer before it's all gone. Join us at the Kroc Center for Rally Day. This family fun event will feature yard games, a bounce house, face painting, and fireworks. It's happening Friday, August 23rd from 7 p.m. till dusk at the Kroc Center, 28th and Y Streets. Admission is free. All are welcome. Again, join us for Rally Day, Friday night, August 23rd. For more details, go to omahakroc.org. That's omahakroc.org.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
How does Host Coffee provide the best coffee for your workplace? By finding the richest and most robust coffee beans from all around the world and bringing them to our Nebraska roastery, where your coffee is roasted fresh and delivered straight to you.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by the NSAA and the Nebraska State Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
One more Dan Patrick.
That sounds like he might be touchable.
One more Colin Cowherd.
Be honest about it.
How about some more Doug Gottlieb?
I want to be your guy who's here every single stinking day.
More Fox Sports Radio?
Any way you want this, I can make it happen.
Then it's yours. All of it.
We love it!
Download the iHeartRadio app and indulge while you do things.
Do it.
That's a good thing.
This is Fox Sports Radio. FS1.
Call your friends and ask how they doing.
To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details.
Boom. Trust your eyes.
FS1.
It is the Odd Couple on a Worship Wednesday, hour number 3 of the Odd Couple. Coming to you live from the TireRack.com studios. Ready for a new job? Let Express Employment Professionals help. Express is hiring for jobs in a variety of industries, and job seekers never, NEVA, never pay a fee at Express Check. So check out expresspros.com. and find your location. That's expresspros.com. Our telephone number, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. It's a real simple question. Who looks worse? Is it Steve Kerr for not being able to find a way to get Jason Tatum more playing time and not have 2 DMPs? Or does it just look bad for Jason because somehow the coach didn't think that he should get in the game despite that he won the NBA championship and first team all NBA and all that other good stuff, and still he had 2 DMPs. 877-99 on Fox.
Well, we got Raphael from Cincinnati. You're on with the Odd Couple. What's up, man?
What's going on, brothers? Hey, Kerr, to me, he comes out worse here. He could have found some minutes for Tatum. Coach Daly, Coach K, Coach Pop, they found minutes.
Right.
And I know that, they always found minutes. I think that Tatum was a victim of circumstance because, unfortunately, Kerr being the coach, 2 of his former players, and King James, it's going to be their last Olympics. I think Kerr was looking at it from the standpoint is that all these fans, at the arena and those watching on television know that this version of the Big Three is going to be the last time they are playing together. And
but they weren't the only 3
sure.
guys playing, though, and that's Kerry's point. Take some minutes from Drew Holiday, take some minutes from other people.
Yeah,
I got you, Rob P. But here's the thing with that, and here's another element to it. It's the King James factor again, man, because I know Tatum, the most recent winner of the NBA championship, King James, Steph, and Durant, they got theirs. But King James, his influence, man, it's just that he doesn't want anybody to possibly have shine. Now, Tatum, small forward, and like you said, brother, like the guard and everything like that. But you mean to tell me that King James couldn't have let Tatum get some minutes by just acquiescing, like, let me go over there. Hey, JT, go in there and get you some minutes. It ain't happening because King James, he is all about himself. And he, I think, was one of the other factors of where Tatum couldn't get on the floor. Yeah. What is Kerr going to do? LeBron, you got to sit now. That ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Let me just close with this real quick. The first Dream Team, John Stockton, He missed the last 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, of the Olympics. Stockton had a broken tibia, but he still played because he wanted to. He knew that was going to be his only Olympics. He wanted to give it all he got. When the pain got too great, he couldn't give it anymore. And Coach Daly still let him have minutes. So this, like I said, Kerr had a lot to do with this, but there were other mitigating factors as well.
No doubt. Appreciate it, Raphael. 877-99 on Fox.
We got Cliff from Kentucky, my old stomping grounds. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Cliff?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Look, Kerr's the one that looks bad in this. And, you know, I mean, if you think about it, he may have poked the bear because by doing this, and he knows Tatum's going to be coming to town at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you know, if Kerr was to think back when he was in his college days, I got to watch him play for the University of Arizona. And after that tragedy of his dad dying and that bombing and everything, first game back, he went to ASU and they was making, you know, comments about it. That lit a fire under him. And if I remember correctly, and now I'm old, so we'll leave it at that. He lit them up that game because of what they did.
Right. No.
It's not the same type deal, obviously.
No.
Nobody died or
exactly.
anything like that,
But I get it. Tatum has motivation. Thanks for the call.
Yeah,
he has motivation to want to play well against the Warriors and Steve Kerr. There's no doubt about it. 877-99 on Fox.
Our next caller, we got Lee from Nashville. You're on with the Odds Couple. How you doing, man?
What's up, Lee?
How you doing, fellas?
Doing good. How are you?
I just got to say, stop the madness. What are you guys talking about? Steve Kerr's job is to win. Win.
So you're telling me that if he played Jason Tatum, they wouldn't win?
Who knows?
Who knows? Stop it. Stop. You stop it. Who knows? Really? Like to put Jason Tatum in for 8 minutes would have been the difference between winning and losing a gold medal? Is that what you're really calling me about? Come on, Lee.
Guys, we have moved to a culture of hurt feelings.
No, it's not. It's not about just hurt feelings. It's not like putting – you don't hear me? If I was saying it's about Halliburton, you could make a case, all right? I'm talking about one of the best players in the league who just